All right, y'all, it is time. I cannot believe what I'm about to share with you. This is possibly the worst decision that the Democrats could have possibly made, and yet they are going full bore, and the lefties are pissed. And you're going to love every second of this one. Guys, this episode is going to have everything you need to get through the rest of the night. You got the Dems freaking themselves out. You got the polling landslide that's happening. That's incredible. And then you got the CPI numbers with inflation decreasing. All in all, it was not a good day for Team Lefty. This is going to be one you're going to want to send out. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, this is how we save the country together, and I hope I can see you guys in the comments, chats, emojis, and you know they make the world go round as you guys are filtering in. All right, so make sure you give me a 5x5 audio video, and once we are good to go, we will be right off to the races. This is going to be a great one. I'm telling you, like every second of this, you're going to love. All right, guys, as you're getting in here, notifications going out. I've got to turn my Do Not Disturb on because this is not that level of amateur of a show. I'm trying to bring you the highest realism and the highest professionalism, while at the same time still being accessible. All right, listen, let's go. Okay, we got it. We got 5x5s. We're going to start off. Every single time we start off with a little bit of an appetizer, something that's made a little bit lighter. It's inspired by French culinary designs. I think there was a Friends reference at one point called an amuse-bouche. It's something that's light, get the palate cleansed, a little bit of humor, a little bit of levity. All right, let's go. Oh my God, I found Kamala Harris. Oh man, I tell you what, I am excited about this primary. Man, I'm so amped. All right, so let's walk through the players on this amuse-bouche. It's, as Chandler said, going to be amusing. All right, guy on the left, you got Bakari Sellers. That guy is, I think that's Bakari Sellers. I'm pretty sure it's Bakari Sellers. That might, actually, you know what, that's not Bakari Sellers. I can't remember that guy's name right this second. I will in a second. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was on the Biden administration. And then you got, of course, Cackles, the laughing thunder herself, Kamala Harris on the right. Well, she has some words about Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, you guys know that Ketanji Brown Jackson is the most qualified Supreme Court justice on the bench. I'm pretty sure ever, freaking ever. You know, the woman who couldn't define what a woman was, which was fun. Biden's only appointment. All right, let's just hear what she has to say. Kamala with the amusings. All right, let's get it, Kamala. Bring us in. Warm us up.
I urge all of the people who are listening to and watching this interview, this conversation, to read her dissents, because one of the reasons why I was so supportive and advocated for her being on the court
Yeah, that's it.
is I knew that at this moment in time, she would be in the minority, and that we needed someone who had the ability to deconstruct the complexities of law, deconstruct the concepts that we have about what is justice, what is equality, what is fairness, and do it in a way that is grounded in precedent and legal precedent, but in a way that speaks to the American people. I encourage everyone, when you have time, to read her dissents. They are brilliant, they are beautiful, they are pointed.
And they have heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely right.
Okay, I'm sorry I had to subject you guys to that. Who missed the word salads? All the buzzwords, they don't make sense, but you said them. And then apparently her dissents have heartbeats. Well, that's ironic considering her pro-choice stance. Anyway, keeping on without stepping on that landmine too hard. This is the same woman that all the other justices are literally like, she's stupid. She's actually stupid. Like, I'm actually concerned how stupid. But they're brilliant. They are pointed. They are what we need in this moment. Oh my God, I am excited for 2028. Oh man, Kamala, please do it. Please. Oh man. All right, I told you it was going to be amusing, but that is how we started this off. Now, let's get to the fun. Watching paint dry is more fascinating compared to listening to Kamala. Yes, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. All right, so this one, y'all, we're going to have some fun with this episode because I'm just going to kind of just like rolling. Like I start the ball down the hill and I just see what happens on the way down. It's really genuinely, that's kind of how these go. So I don't script anything. It's all off the cuff, but look at this. So you guys remember that thing that I've told you consistently? Let me hear you in the chats and the comments if you remember me saying this, honestly ad nauseum. We're going to win in the long term for a few simple reasons. Team Red, Team Republican, Team Conservative, Team MAGA, Team Independent leaning R, Team just America, you're going to win. And the reason you're going to win is A, you have better ideas. B, you have proof that the ideas work. C, you aren't hung up on overly emotional arguments that have no standing or bearing in fact. And then other one, you're reproducing and they're not. I mean, my God, look at blue states see falling child population. I tell you what, that is weird. Now, why am I saying that? Why is that so important? Well, it's important for two reasons, and I'm going to show you the actual percentages here and allude to that in a moment. The reason that's important, one, the first reason, everyone's leaving. That's electoral college. That's why you're going to see in 2030 when the census changes over and all the votes go from blue states to red states, as I've highlighted by the governors' conventions and the governors' associations on Team Blue, where they're like, we need to do something like now or we're screwed forever. Yeah, because they have no more population and it's dying and aging. They're like pulling a straight up South Korea, okay, or Japan or Russia. They're all going negative, okay? So the blue states are not reproducing. The red states are reproducing and they're getting people moving there. It's only a matter of time until the representative government qualities of our form of government really kick them right in the proverbial gonads. Because it's really just a matter of procreation and death. At the end of the day, in numbers. Because you're talking about a 7.3% increase and a 7.1% decrease, all in children in the next generation. That's going to carry for about 15 years before you start never getting back, ever. That's where you're going. Turning Point USA is having their AmFest right now. I got some videos coming up on that. The numbers that they have are off the charts. We're recruiting young people. We're actually making young people. They're driving them away like vote repellent, and no one's staying in their cities and states. And they're dying off and not reproducing. Yeah, that's going to work real well. Way to go, feminism. All right, let's keep on going, y'all. This is what we need. I feel like these are the things that you need in your lives to really cut through the fog of bullcrap they're always feeding you. All right, here we go. Let's just look at this. This is interesting. I found this fascinating. Did you guys know that according to Emerson, which is an A+ polling rating, and we're going to get into the real fun stuff in a second. Like the middle portion here is the like real big oopsie. Moderate Republicans are 48% more likely to be elected than progressive Democrats. Well, that's weird. Because when you have 48% of the population, that means you picked up the independents. When you have 36% of the population, that means you picked up the far lefties. Congratulations, you got the blue hairs. Awesome. I'm telling you guys, you're on the cut. Do not even yield. Keep on trucking. Don't listen to any of these media punditries, all this crap. Here's more of it. This one's actually from a Canadian leftist account. I know, Canadian. Progressive Democrat to MAGA GOP, dead heat. Moderate GOP to progressive Dem, 12-point advantage Republican. Moderate Dem to MAGA, 38, running to the middle. Moderate GOP to moderate Dem, GOP wins again. Y'all, it's like red is the new black on these streets. I mean, everywhere is really underlying principles of Republican, conservative, America first, make America great again. All those principles, they're showing up everywhere except the one thing that they want to talk to you about, the generic ballot, which then fell apart on them. I'm going to show that in a second. I'm telling you guys that there are so many things that are happening, and we have got to stop being distracted and focus on what's happening. Not you guys. I'm talking about all the other people looking at all the stupid stuff out there. But this is what's happening. Remember that whole J.D. Vance is evil? Yeah. Turns out that devastating new poll for Democrats finds J.D. Vance is 13 points more popular than Gavin Newsom, the hair gel monster from California. And has a net favorability rating among Americans of plus 5 points. There's a reason I keep on going and leaning into J.D. Vance, because he's got it. He's got the it. He knows how to do it. He's got the vice presidency, and he's coming off of a Trump presidency. He's the move. Sorry, I like me some Ron DeSantis too, but J.D. Vance has got it. Let's keep on going. I got even more for you. Yeah, we got to do it again, guys. We got to do it again. And of course, as you guys are just now getting in here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Those chats, emojis, and comments are making the world go round, cutting through the notification blackout that seems to be existing on YouTube these days. Must be over the target or something. All right, I've got to show you this clip. And I did, in all fairness, do a video on this, a whole video dedicated to this clip earlier today. I'm going to show you a few high points of it. But I want to show you just a couple things that they're not telling you on these talking heads and all these media shows that are all concerned about things that aren't this. This is how you're winning. When I say you're winning, it's not even close. Listen to CNN. Harry Enton literally could have walked all through the videos that we communicated on over the last week and a half and then made a freaking video segment on CNN about it. Watch this.
I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
That's it.
Never been lower than the Dead Sea. Guys, please let me hear you in the comments if I'm not just talking into thin air. Like, you heard me say all this stuff, right? Again, I want to reiterate, that is not a benefit to me. That is just the stuff they weren't telling you that we were talking about, and now all of a sudden they can't ignore it anymore. I'm not awesome. It's just the stuff is out there. Anyway, that's why I have an entire channel. If you lose independence, you lose everything. Oh my God, they're minus 61 and they've never been low in the history of all polling. Well, that's a good place to start. There's a reason I'm doing this one right now, because the next slide I want to show you, they done goofed. All right, let's keep on going, Harry. Take us home, come on.
Independents and overall, but what about Democrats on Democrats?
Yeah, what about Democrats on Democrats? So part of the reason overall is so low is independents are driving it low. But that's not the only reason it's so low. What about Democrats on Democrats? Democrats' net approval rating of congressional Democrats. I want you to keep in mind, they had never rated Democrats negatively until this year. And right now, what are we talking about? We're talking about a net approval rating from Democrats. This is Democrats on Democrats. Their approval rating is actually lower than the disapproval rating, and that is quite the drop from October. I think during the shutdown, there was a bit of a boost for Democrats, right? There was a rallying around the flag effect going on, but Democrats did not like how that shutdown turned out. They have returned against Democrats in Congress, and you mentioned Dan Goldman in that intro. One of the reasons that Dan Goldman is in trouble right now in a potential primary.
Yeah, I don't care about Dan Goldman. I'll talk about that later or something. Y'all, they've lost their own Democrats. Here's you have to understand where they're at on this, and this is why I'm showing you this. I've told you for a while now, we've had multiple conversations, this going back about 12 months. They are in a identity crisis, civil war scenario on Team Blue, in Team Democrat. You have got the progressives fighting the moderates. The moderates are fighting the progressives. They're trying to both struggle for the same brain space. The host is trying to become the parasite. The parasite is trying to become the host. This is the way that it's happening, okay? In that polling that you just saw, you have the far left who was all rah, go Democrats, go team when they shut the government down for 43 days. The Democrats got their face stomped in by the Republicans and Donald Trump quite candidly. And then the polling reversed. So they lost the moderates. They lose the far lefties. They can't win for losing. This is what they're doing. But the whole time, it's all been propaganda ever since October. Exactly what we've been talking about. Okay, I got one more thing. It's really funny. And then we're going to hit this next clip, because this next one, oh my God, the stuff they are hiding from the Democrats, guys. Oh, you're going to love it.
Against Brad Ladner is because at this point, the Democratic base is so upset with Democrats. So even if Democrats take back Congress, don't be surprised if Dan Goldman ain't there because of numbers like this one.
And this is quite a shift that you're looking at here. I mean, so this gets to the midterms,
quite a
of course.
shift.
What does this do to Democrats' chances of taking back majorities in Congress?
Yeah, you know, we're talking about it. You mentioned it. What is this? 22-6. That's a 28-point decline falling through the floor. But of course, the question is, can Democrats still take back Congress, even with their ratings as low as this? The answer is yes, but in my mind, it's definitely hurting them. Why do I say that?
All right. I'm not going to let him go through the whole thing. If you want to watch the rest of the video, my analysis on this, I did a video earlier today, like I think 6-7 hours ago. You can watch that entire thing, okay? I'm just going to leave it on that graph right there because it filters into what the Democrats just did to the Democrats at the DNC level. This is so good. Mine are plus 10, plus 4. Well, Braden, that's still plus. Yeah, maybe. Except for December 2005 was George Bush. That was not good. Then December 2017 was Trump 1.0. That wasn't great. So the built-in pattern and average here is plus 10. And now, at the time that the Democrats have everything, the blue tsunami is a guaranteed thing. In fact, the water is already off the shore. It's going to be so large, it's going to go around the entire planet twice because it's that big. Well, that's weird because you have less than 50% support for it nationally. You've lost your own Democrats. 2 months. They could hold up that propaganda 2 months before the balloon popped and everything started unraveling. That's what you're looking at right here. We haven't even gotten to the inflation numbers and the CPI that I'm going to show you at the third segment. Guys, the economic stuff is going to be the Democrats' undoing, and they can't even get out of their own way, and they're tripping over their own shoelaces, stepping on rakes left and right. Oh, man, that was fun. That was just the first segment, guys. We are about to have so much fun on this second one because this is the reason you came. This is the big hurrah. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, if you are down to save this country and you want to cut through the propaganda and you want to make a difference and spread something out that's always sourced and it's always backed with everything that I can show you where I got my conclusions from, please join us. It's completely free and it has an amazing impact on everyone that sees it from a standpoint of just showing them information that's actually sourced. It's incredible. But let's get back to this because we have got to talk about something really, 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 really bad if you're a Democrat. This is so bad. Oh my God, what is this? Pray tell. The big payoff. Let's get it. Michael Thomas, actually, you have to get a super chat. Michael Thomas, 5789, says, don't stop grinding. We have to win this all the way. Just get out and vote Team Red. Yep. I've got some people who clearly heard my little beeping fire alarm the other day, so there's no beep. I have remedied this issue. Thank you for noticing. Just one thing while I'm getting the super chat here, guys. Honest to goodness, vote like you're losing. Grind like you're losing. Leave everything on the field. It's for your country, and then count everything afterwards. If a good outcome happens, you learn, you get better. If a bad outcome happens, you learn, you get better. You cannot go wrong. You put the grind in. The big risk is you try. Okay, we're Americans. We're used to that. All right, super chat from Night Whisper Grace, $4.99. Thank you very much with a cute snickering little emoji fox thing. Thank you, Night Whisper Grace. I appreciate that. All right, guys, listen, this is the reason you came right here. The big gotcha, the big old kick right in the proverbial liver. I can't believe they're doing this. The DNC is killing off its 2024 autopsy. Okay? DNC Chairman Ken Martin has decided not to publish a public report believing that a backward-looking document would be counterproductive as the party has started winning. Oh, please get closer right now. Oh my God. This guy came into power for the DNC. I got all the documents and the reaction. It's chef's kiss. This guy came into power at the DNC saying, we're going to do an autopsy, we're going to figure out what went wrong, and we're going to learn from it, and then we're going to release it to the public as the most transparent DNC ever. Meanwhile, since that whole thing has happened, they have no money. They're paying off all the debts. They have $15 million in debt that they just took on to pay off all their old Kamala Harris debt and pay their staffers, which is artificially inflated from a normal election season because they had to win Virginia and New York. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up. But anyway, let's get right back to it, y'all. I'm telling you that it's so bad. It's so gloriously bad. Here's the actual article, which I'm going to read in 1 second. As you can see, I have the highlights ready, but I want to show you some reactions first because these are all lefties' accounts I'm about to show you. Watch this. John Lovett. It's all so patronizing. I think that's not John Lovett. Yeah, different guy. Okay. Not John Lovell, John Lovett. Okay. It's all so patronizing. Why do you believe the engaged Democrats who care deeply about winning in 26 and 28 cannot handle the information you've gathered? Winning off-year elections should not give us a false sense of comfort. It's a strange justification for sitting on a report you said we needed and pledged to release. Uh-oh. We are a big political movement that has to be able to have hard debates, and if we can't, no amount of momentum from wins in 2025 will matter. That is absolutely true, and I'm freaking here for it. They're running away because they don't want to piss people off. The special interest groups are the ones who are very clearly the ones who caused the election faltering from things like woke ideology, from gender equality, from gender inequality pushes, from transgenderism, from all the special interest crap that they pushed. Open borders, anything and everything under the sun. Yeah, but they don't want to say it because if they say it, then they've got a problem with being meanie pants. Okay? Democrats are our own worst enemy, I swear. That's a lefty account, like way left progressive. John Favreau, this is one of the podcast bros. Unreal, the DNC actual position is the public knew more about what Democrats got wrong in the last election. It would hurt the party's chances in the next election. How does this rebuild trust? Trust. Between the party insiders and grassroots activists and organizers. See that whole progressive moderate thing happening? There's the establishment Democrat, and then there's the podcasters, and then there's the grassroots, and they're all not trusting each other. You see this? Just saying. Why does the party only trust people with the truth who are part of their insular club? Okay, that doesn't sound ideal. How about one more for you? Polling USA, another lefty account. Holy shit. They're not going to learn from the disaster that was 2024, huh? Oh, it's so good and delicious. And by the way, I'm going to be honest with you. This is about 2 days after the vice chair of the DNC called all the Democrat voters who consistently go out there assholes because they vote the wrong way. I mean, yeah, it's going well. It's going well. All right, let's get in here. We got to talk about this New York Times article. Guys, if you're enjoying the the content, everything delivered in this context, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I'm trying to bring you all the notifications that you need to cut through all the propaganda in an entertaining way that holds your attention, but also delivers you all the information that is sourced right down there in the description box. We are on a mission. Please join us. Thank you very much. Ken Martin, the Democratic National Committee chairman, ordered the autopsy months ago, but is now said to believe that its release would be counterproductive for the party. Oh, yeah, it would, Ken. It would. Now, unfortunately, it's just like medicine. They do, and I'm going to put my honest-to-God political analyst hat on here. They do need to release this report. They need to show everybody how they screwed up. Because if you're on Team Democrat, one real quick remedy to your big problems is showing what didn't work, what's not going to work, and is going to continue to fail, and then adjusting off of those plans. But they're not going to do that because that would offend people and break up their coalition because they won 2 governorships. The polling's already falling apart, which is why I led in with all of that. They're at minus 66 with independents, or 61 with independents. They're 18% approval rating. I don't know if it could get much worse, Ken. Anyway, and by the way, I want them not to release it. On Team Red, on Team Patriot, Team Country, I'm all for it. Get a bigger filing cabinet. Shove that and shove everything else that would use reflection to make yourselves better on the Democrat side, and just don't look at it and don't tell anybody. Keep doing it just the way you're doing it. It's going great. Anyway, let's keep on going. The Democrat National Committee is killing its autopsy of the 2024 election. Darn. Ken Martin, the chairman of the DNC, said Thursday that he's decided not to publish the report, which he ordered personally, and by the way, they paid for, along with paying $20 million to figure out why men don't like him. I'm not making, like the punchlines I'm delivering are actually factual. These are not even jokes. These are actually real life events. God, you can't make this stuff up. Mr. Martin will instead keep the findings under seal, which is always good. Most transparent party, right? He believes that looking back so publicly and painfully at the past would prove counterproductive for the party as it tries to take back next year's power in Congress. Wait until I show you the money. A DNC spokeswoman who spoke on the condition of anonymity to share the thinking behind his decision, here's our North Star. Does this help us win? Mr. Martin said in a statement, if the answer is no, it's a distraction from the core mission. So you're not going to show people what they want, what they paid for, and what they expected because you think it's going to hurt your feelings. Okay. Bigger file cabinet, multiple drawers. Make it like that file cabinet from Bruce Almighty that just goes forever, all day. Love it. Get every single helpful thing in there. Love it. In fact, go in there and pull out Kamala Harris again. It'd be great. Don't do a DNC primary. Just instill her again. Still, even if it is good politics to stuff the report in a filing cabinet, that's where the reference came from, Democrats may well be avoiding self-examination and a chance for introspection. No. Stop it. They wouldn't. Great analysis, New York Times. Great analysis. Stunning. God. Oh my God, I'm having fun with this episode. Guys, if you are too, let me hear you in the comments, the chats, the emojis. I see all the super chats. In fact, I'm going to read this little paragraph and then I'm going to get that super chat I just saw come in. It's reflective of a broader problem within the party, which is we are scared of ever making anybody in our coalition upset, said Simon Bazelon, a Democratic researcher who's the lead author of a different autopsy. I understand the incentives involved there, but it also limits us in a lot of ways because it means we can't address difficult questions head on. Exactly. That's why I want you to get the biggest file cabinet from Bruce Almighty and just keep on doing it. All right. Is this one important? You know what? Let's just do it on the fly. Hold on. Is this a good one? Yeah, we're going to read it because it's got Biden in it. Those initially briefed on the planned document over the summer had said it would skirt past the question. Just skirt past this question. There's no problem. Skirt past the question of whether former President Joseph Biden would have run for re-election, as well as key decisions from Kamala Harris's campaign. Okay, hold on a second. Come here, guys. I mean, like, you didn't walk through scanners. You're not on a spaceship somewhere. It's not the Twilight Zone. They actually just said, in an autopsy report to figure out what went wrong in the 2024 election, you know, the one where Biden ran for re-election and then short-circuited, and then they pulled the plug, the parachute, and he went, ah, and then Kamala Harris goes, I'm here and I've arrived. Yeah, that whole thing, they were going to do an autopsy on that election, and they weren't going to talk about Biden being re-elected or running for president, and they weren't going to talk about Kamala Harris's campaign. What were they going to talk about? The balloons? The entire campaign was Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I mean, literally, what? Behold your opponents. Someone just did a super chat. I'm going to read it because that's exactly what I'm thinking right here. Super chat, got two of them. Hold on one second. I owe all of you guys the reads here. Roadrunner for the $5 super chat says the DNC has officially crashed and burned. Thank you very much, Roadrunner. That is a recurring super chatter. I appreciate it. And MP1876 with a $2 super chat said, don't interrupt. They're kicking their own ass. I'm going to be honest with you. They aren't going to listen to me anyway because their virtue signals get in the way of listening to anybody who might actually have somewhat of an idea of what's going on. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but like I'm better than this. Like, come on. Another super chat. Barry McCook, I think. $5 super chat says, thank you for what you do with an American flag, an eagle, and a beer. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I might have a beer underneath my flag with an American eagle on it. I appreciate very much all the support. All right, let's keep on going. We are having some fun. One more super chat. One more super chat just came in. Mitchell Ryan, 9282, with a $2 super chat says, my God, it seems like you're joking. Referring to an earlier statement that I made when I'm just saying what happened, and it sounds like a joke. I mean, All right, let's keep on going. I got something else down here. Here we go. Oh my God, it's so good. Y'all, I'm going to zoom in for emphasis here because you guys deserve the very best. Look at this. The DNC's finances remain precarious. Mr. Martin's candidacy for chairman was opposed by some major donors, and this fall he took out a $15 million loan to keep the party fully funded. Did anybody play Battleship when they were a kid? You sunk my battleship. I mean, like, my God, play the taps. After the loan, the party entered November with just $18.3 million in cash on hand, meaning it only had about $3 million after accounting for the debts. Wait. Time out. Pump the brakes. You took $15 million in debt for the DNC, and you only had $3 million after 1 month? Y'all are screwed. No wonder the propaganda push for Democratic funding is going on. Oh, by the way, the Republican National Committee, by contrast, has $91.2 million and no debts. Let's play a little game here. 91.2 million, 18.3 million. 3 million, 91.2 million. Do I need to do the zoom in and just stare at the camera thing again? Okay, we're going to have a moment right now, guys. No one's been telling you this. No one. The media sure as hell isn't going to tell you this. The DNC talking heads aren't going to say this. The lefties on X who are literally only propagandists with a keyboard, they're not going to tell you this. We got a bunch of people on our side who are too busy talking about conspiracy stuff and all these different things in their fields and all this new, like, whatever they want to talk about. How can we not be talking about this? This is like literally, Their battleships are sinking. Pour it on. All right, let's keep on going. Oh my goodness gracious. No. I do want to do this one. I'm sorry. This part right here. Night Whisper Grace with another $5 super chat says that's not a battleship. That was a dinghy. That's very, very true. Other findings include that Democrats did not spend sufficiently on streaming services to reach younger voters. Now, I don't care about what they spend on streaming services to reach younger voters. What I care about is the next part of this sentence. Whom it described as a new swing coalition. Y'all, do you know what that means? If you don't, and you haven't been following politics and you're new to this and you're one of the newer people, I totally get it. Let me break it down for you. The Democrat standards and norms of their demos and their key voting blocks, the youth is a massive Democrat voting bloc. Donald Trump took that right out from under him, arguably with Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point USA push to go after the younger demographic. And by the way, they made him infinitely more powerful and his organization infinitely more powerful, which I'm going to cover for you tomorrow. Some of the new numbers were just released. It's insane. They're talking about it being a swing coalition. Well, do you know what it has to do to be a swing coalition? It has to no longer be a lock for Democrats. Literally. They didn't say that in this article, but I'm being real with you. Before, it was an absolute lock and it all depended on youth turnout for the vote. Now it's a big swing coalition. Y'all, please take everything that I'm showing you and see it for what it is. It's all masked. It's all posturing. I was literally talking to some big people in conservative media right before this. Completely agree. It is all projection. It is all posturing. Y'all, I'm telling you, the next 6 to 12 months are going to be wild. And we're going to be here together. All right, I got some more super chats. Hold on a second. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's see. Jeremy Willis with a $10 super chat. Sorry, it's not millions, but a little something for the LOA war chest. Jeremy, you guys, listen, you guys are not required to do that. Anything that you do, that is the goodness of your heart, and I appreciate it deeply. That is no, everything is, that's not it. That doesn't even come into my brain. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Does this impact the Gang of Four in Colorado? Maybe in election time. I think the Dems are a bunch of dingbats, says Roadrunner with a follow-up super chat. You know what? They are a bunch of dingbats. Hey, look, let's go to this break right here. Let's stretch a little bit because we're about to have some real fun. I had my sarcasm. I showed you some of the polling. Showed you how all the lies are being obfuscated from you. But now would be a good time to remind you guys to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We strive every day to make the country better than we found it and leave it better for the next generation. And with your help, we can do just that. So make sure you're engaged in the chats, the comments, and the emojis that make the world go around. And they kick the notification bell, which is sleeping on the couch like a deadbeat liberal blue hair in the Twitter basement. Let's just make sure we get the thing up and get a job. You know, just send that bad boy out. All right, that was all I got for you. Like I said, all these things are off the cuff. Oh, Frank Luntz, let's talk about something that is not supposed to happen if you are on Team Lefty. Did you guys see this today? It's weird. Maybe I'll go over here. Maybe it's different. No, it's the same. Core inflation, which doesn't include volatile items like energy and food prices, rose at an annual rate of 2.6 in November. The important part, it stood at 3.1% last month. Wow, that's a staggering fall. That's weird. And that doesn't have to do anything to do with gas, like energy or food prices. So the CPI, which is the most important indicator, just fell off a cliff. It's weird. I could have sworn that I was told that Trump was destroying the entire economy. Oh, look, more New York Times. By the way, standard rule of thumb, operating procedure. If the New York Times says something positive about Donald Trump, there's either a comment on the way, like big spatial body about to hit the planet, or it's just so big you can't hide it. The latest consumer price index was below what economists had expected and likely reflects what they call distortions caused by the government shutdown. You mean that Democrat one that said it wasn't that they won, but they didn't win, but they did win, but the Democrats hate them now? Yeah. Is that why the polling fell off a cliff? Yeah. They're all liars. All right, look at that graph. See? That's what I like to see. See that big spike right there? Yeah, it rhymes with Schmeiden. Okay, we're going to keep on trucking. The White House continued to tout November's inflation data on Thursday, with Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, saying that price pressures were much lower than expected. Core inflation is at a new multi-year low as prices for groceries, medicine, gas, airfare, car rentals, and hotels keep falling. Americans can expect this trend of lower prices and bigger paychecks to come into the new year. I'm going to be honest with you, I'd be okay with that. A, for myself, and B, for the population of the United States, because that was not a fun 4-year experiment with Team Schmeiden. Oh, man. I don't know what they're going to do, guys. Actually, I do know what they're going to do, and I'm going to tell you what they're going to do in a second. But let's keep on trucking. Let me show you something else. This is a Fox News hit piece, piece that's kind of a hit all touting the Trump administration. So I'm going to, fair warning, flag on the play. It is biased. But anyway, it's still be fun to listen to. Here's what they're going to do. The left is already doing it. First thing, oh my God, inflation is so high, everything is so expensive, affordability ad nauseum, and then when prices start falling, it's, oh my God, it's a recession, oh my God, it's a recession, oh my God, it's a recession, Donald Trump is evil. It's a slide ruler. It's a flow chart. It's like Plinko, right? You drop something at the top and whatever happens, you've got an answer, right? If you go to the left, it's like, oh my God, Donald Trump's bad because inflation's high. You go to the right, it's, oh my God, he caused a recession because inflation's low. This is politics manipulation 101. That's what you're saying. I mean, and it doesn't matter. You saw it with gas. You saw it with inflation. You saw it with CPI. You saw it with foreign wars. You see it everywhere. It doesn't matter. When the conflicts ended, it was, well, yeah, but what did he give them? Did you want the conflict ended or not? Did you burn buildings down because you wanted the conflict? Yeah, I did, but now Trump did it, so I'm not happy. It's almost like you can't make these people happy, and so you might as well just not try. All right, let's get into it. Fox News, take it home. Oh man, we're running. What time? We're right on time. I was worried. Let's get it. Oh my goodness gracious. It's come that time. I can't play the puff piece. What am I going to do? This is like the easiest puff piece ever. Come on, X. Come on, X. I believe you. I'm going to reload this. Clear. Maria, you going to make this work? You going to make this work, Maria? Come on. I'm about to abandon Maria. Yep. Sorry, Maria. You didn't make it work. You didn't make it work. What about this guy? That's not a good face. Here's another one. Same concept. Look at this incredible number. Watch.
2.7% year over year. Let me interrupt you. I'm sorry, Steve. Yeah. 2.7% year over year is the number. We were expecting 2.6% is on core. 2.6% is core, and 2.7% is headline. This is better than expected. We were expecting 3% on core. We got 2.6% CPI for the month of November. We got headline number of 2.7%, much better than the 3.1% expected. This is just the year over year for November. We're not getting October because the October report was never compiled because of the government shutdown. Markets are on the move. Dow Industrials now at the highs of the morning, up 165 on this number. 2.6% CPI on core, 2.7% on headline. Your reaction?
Wow. She talked faster than I do. And I talk fast. Honest to God. Like, if you guys don't follow the economic stuff, you don't follow the indicators, this is pointing towards lower interest rates, lower Fed funds rate. This is pointing towards a lot less spending, a lot more wages. This is pointing towards everything everyone voted for. Honest to God. I've said multiple times in my shows, you guys can say it over here in the chat. You can do whatever you want over here. You can confirm it or not. I've said it multiple times. I will tell you when something's good, and I'll tell you when something has an opportunity. In which case, if it's the Democrats, I'll just blast them because I don't like them less. But like legitimately, 2.6? I don't even hide my bias. I'm conservative. It's cool, whatever. But like, y'all, okay.
I predicted that, didn't I, 10 minutes ago, that we were going to see a slight reduction in the inflation rate. By the way, this is good news for Wall Street. It's good news for Main Street. It's good news for the Federal Reserve Board, which means it's more likely that we're going to see another 0.25 percentage point reduction in rates. I got a big smile on my face right before Christmas with this number.
Yeah, and so do the markets. Investors are watching this melt-up resume. Take a look at markets here. Can I see all the averages here? Mark Tepper, your reaction as we look at a market that is resuming this melt-up that we've seen.
3.1%, actually coming in at 2.7 for headline. That's incredible. I mean, I thought tariffs were supposed to be inflationary, by the way, and we're seing inflation come down. be positive.
Now, this is interesting, and I'm gonna say this part real. It is excellent, but this is an interesting thing, and I want to hear you guys in the chat on this one because I'm curious what you guys think. So, tariffs historically have had pressures on inflation. They have. They aren't wildly inflationary, but they aren't not inflationary. I mean, they do have pressures on the inflation rate, the money supply. They do. However, what's really intriguing to me is when you have 2.2 million people who are no longer in the economic system and the economic money supply that's no longer churning at a plus 2.2 million rate, that might just be offsetting any type of tariff issue. So now you actually might be having a falling CPI and a falling inflation because you have 2.2 fewer people in the million people in the actual system. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but when you look at everything that's falling across the board, everything is consumption based. Housing, gas, groceries, cars, energy. All of it is consumption based. And if you have you have 2.2 million less people in the United States, that's going to have an impact on pricing because that's exactly what caused it to jack up. In multiple other videos I've shown you, when Biden opened the borders, 2.2 million people, 5 million people, 8 million people came across the borders. And wouldn't you know it, they allowed FHA-backed mortgages for illegal aliens. And then that skyrocketed the price because there were more buyers than sellers because it jacked up the market artificially. Isn't that weird? And then you had car companies that weren't making cars people wanted to buy that were too expensive because of artificial mandates put on by the Biden administration. And then they drop them under the Trump administration, and now they get vehicles back where people actually want to buy them, and there's actually benefit, and it's a free market. Isn't it weird how all these policies translate? Meanwhile, I'm gonna poke this bear a little bit more. No, not that one. Not that one. That one. I'm just gonna poke this bear. Meanwhile, the guy's telling you we're all idiots, and the guy's telling you that they're doing it right and we're doing it wrong, and they're the most transparent people in the world, are hiding autopsy reports from their elections. Y'all, just keep kicking butt with a smile on your face. That's the best thing I can tell you. We are on the team winning. They're not having babies. They're not reproducing. They're leaving their states. I mean, it is, Category 5 tornado, or hurricane. I'm in Florida. I can say hurricane. Cat 5 hurricane. You're like an F5 tornado. It is not cute. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tap dance all over the just destruction that is the DNC because you know what? I don't like what they stand for, and I don't think you guys do either. Listen, I love each and every one of you just the right amount that makes you feel comfortable. I will see you guys on the next one. I am Braden. See you later.